in 5A Division I, we've got the big DeSoto Trinity, which they played earlier. Trinity's coming off the big upset of South Lake Carroll, which, it is an upset. They played last year in the same round, and Carroll won 16-7 and they had Kenny Hill. It was just an offensive back and forth, and both teams' defenses are okay. What it came down to was a very odd bounce. Everybody scoring, Trinity scoring one way and South Lake Carroll scoring passing. Trinity scoring with, I think they run 3 plays. Right. A wham, a toss sweep, and a play action pass.
Keep it simple.
And that's pretty much what they do. And South Lake Carroll was driving with 4 minutes left, and their running back AJ Ezard, who's a senior, was hurt, so they put in a Humphrey, little Jordan Humphrey, and he's a really good player. He took a swing pass, very safe pass. Boy, you draw it up. If he gets hit, he's right by the sideline, and if he fumbles, the ball will go out of bounds. So you're pretty safe. So it just so happens he gets hit on the helmet. The helmet hits the ball. The ball pops straight up. It doesn't go with the momentum toward the sideline. Right. Pops straight up and just spins and just sits there about 5 yards from the sideline, and some 300-pound kid jumps on it. And how many times have you seen that kid jump on it and it just squirts out of bounds? Well, he jumps on it and he's able to hold it, and have possession just a second before he goes out of bounds. So it's Trinity ball, and that's the only turnover of the game. They were both so South Lake Carroll is, lost love, lost set, and so that was the difference in the game. And, people were going, well, what adjustments did Trinity make? The only adjustments was they happened to get that bounce on the play, or South Lake Carroll was pretty much going to score, and then it was if Trinity could score in 2 minutes.
Well, the adjustment they made was earlier on because luck favors the prepared.
Yes, that's right.
That's right.
You can look at it that way. And then of course you have Allen in the other matchup, and they play Spring Westfield. And beware of Spring Westfield. They are, they're kind of like Capel, maybe Capel in a last year. Now, although you can see what Capel did, nearly upsetting DeSoto. They're going to run the ball. They're going to play it close. They're going to be used to playing it close. They're going to hit real hard. They've got to watch the big plays, because it's going to be hard for them. They got into a little bit of a shootout with Skyline, but they also had to play 2 overtimes, so you kind of have to add the scores because of that. In fact, Corby Meekins turned down the Capel job before Joe McBride got it. They had gone after him. He's a very well thought of coach. They had 5 guys. They'll send 5 guys up from Houston. That's a pretty crowded van they're sending up here.
I guess.
And you got to be pretty confident that you're going to go a couple rounds in the playoffs.
Right.
If I'm seeing them last week. So they've got some players, and what there's very little to be said about Allen, but what a motivation to be the team that beats Allen. I mean, defending state champ, nobody can play with them. They're killing people by 20 touchdowns. Well, when you're tired and hurt and you're, playing your 14th game of the season, I mean, they're not tired or hurt at all. I mean, they, in effect, almost could win a state championship by beating Allen, and they're going to pull out every reverse kickoff, every start the game or the half with an onside kick. So, and Allen's very well aware of that.
Well, I was going to ask you, you think Allen's prepared for that? Which we know they are. Long-time relationship with their coach, but are you predicting some type of upset possibly?
No, I'm predicting it may be closer than. I mean, Allen is they're so good. They're getting so used to rolling, and it just doesn't take much to kind of upset the balance or a couple of bad series, and then all of a sudden somebody like Westfield's eating up 8 minutes on a drive that they didn't even score on. But they punted, and then you got to back up. So I would still go with Allen, but I was huge on Houston Lamar, and they lost last week, and they're a really talented team.
Well, Allen is certainly used to playing at AT&T. They're used to playing big games. Most of their athletes, certainly their coaches, have kind of been raised up in that atmosphere. So they're not going to have that wow factor as much. Of course, they enjoy it and they appreciate it. I'm not so sure that the other guys are going to have that same feeling.
Yeah, and it is. And the Houston coaches will tell you, they think it's a little bit of a disadvantage that the games are always being at AT&T. Now, the UIL will go, well, we're having a hard time working things out with the Reliant.
Sure.
We would love to put it down there. And if we put it in San Antonio and there's no San Antonio teams, one, that really hurts attendance.
That's right.
And two, that's a long way for people to go. So there's arguments. But yeah, Westfield coming and playing at AT&T. And I mean, for kids in North Texas, the scoreboard's not that big a deal anymore.
Right.
But for the other teams coming in, I mean, it's clearly, at least till halftime, they're not looking up at themselves in the TV screen. So there is a little bit of a factor there.
Score prediction?
I would say, something 30, 38, 21, Allen. I mean, I think they're going to win.
Right.
I just think they just get it going. And I think Allen's offense is better than Skyline's, and Westfield had a little bit of trouble with the speed and all over the field of Skyline. So I think they're going to have a little bit of trouble with Allen.
Great. Okay. Well, listen, guys, that's it for VYPE TV for this week, the playoff edition.